Hey everyone, and welcome to PGN Live. Woo! It is Friday. The end of the week is here. It's been a good week. I hope you've all been doing well. We've streamed quite a bit this week. I'm happy. It's exciting. Whenever we get in several, it's always a good thing. We've got a couple of cool things to talk about today. But before we do, as I welcome you all in and as you all get comfortable, let's get that pop out chat rolling so I can see who's here. Getting some shout outs. Yesterday's stream was pretty long, pretty beefy. Not too long or anything, just right, you know. Alrighty. Let's see. Pop out chat. Here we go. Who's here? Is anyone here? I don't know. Paladin is here. Paladin8669 says, "Good afternoon." Well, good afternoon, Paladin. Welcome on in. Thank you for being here. I'm Not a Plant says, "Hello, Paul." Hello, I'm Not a Plant. Good to see you as well. Welcome. You two are the first ones here. Maybe the only ones. I don't know yet. We just started. Let's get this going. How's your day so far? Oh no, it looks like there are 5 people here. Okay, cool. The Ocarina of Time Lego set looks cool. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I don't think it's too unreasonably priced either. If I'm not mistaken, it's like $120. I mean, in comparison to the $650 Pokemon set, that's a lot less. Then again, it is a smaller set, so it should be less. But yeah, if you're looking for some cool video game merch to put up on your shelf or something like that, looks like it's going to be, pretty cool for a lot of people. And maybe cross your fingers, cross all your fingers, man. Just cross everything you can. Maybe it gives a little bit more leverage to thinking, could this be the year that we get that Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake? Does this help that case at all? I don't know. Robbie Rains is here, says hi. Hi, Robbie. Roger Enyard is here. Yo, I'm here. Good to see you, Roger. Welcome. Now that there are several of you here, I kind of want to run a poll. I mean, hopefully more people show up as well, but let's get some early impressions on whether or not you're all excited for the Zelda set or are planning on picking it up, right? A lot kinder to the wallet in comparison to the Deku Tree. Yeah, this definitely costs less than the Deku Tree. Are you picking up the Ocarina of Time Lego set? Yes, and it looks awesome. Yeah, but I think it's only okay. No. Because it's not cool enough. No. Because I'm not interested. Okay. There you go. That's fair. Are you picking up the Ocarina of Time Lego set? Yes. Oh man, there's a typo. Oh well, that's okay, I guess. Yes, and it looks awesome. Not and. Yeah, but I think it's only okay. No, because it's not cool enough. Or no, because I'm not interested. There may be some people just not interested because it's Lego and Lego's not your thing. There may be some people that know because you like Lego, but Zelda's not your thing. Okay, to each their own. Or no, because it's not cool enough. Like, man, you're really hoping that Ganondorf would have looked different, or something about it just, nah, this is not for you. Then there's yeah, but I think it's only okay. Like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's not quite what I was hoping for, but it's cool enough. And then there's the yes, and it looks awesome. I'm in the yes, and it looks awesome territory. Category, I should say. Yeah, I think it looks cool. I don't know if I would build it right away though, only because I gotta admit, I have the Deku tree right here. I never put it together. The time it takes to do certain things, you know, we prioritize some more than others, right? Do I truly not have the time to put together the Lego one? No, I wouldn't say that that's completely accurate. That's not the case. Uh, but like right now, I'm choosing to spend this time, this nugget that I have right now, to talk to you all, to have fun with this community. You could argue, well, this time right now I could be spending making that Lego set. So yeah, there is time, but how do we allocate? You've got your chores, you've got gaming time, spending time with your significant other, my wife, my kids. Like everyone's got all that kind of stuff. So do I know for sure that even if I bought this Ocarina of Time Lego set that I would immediately make it? I don't know if I could say that for sure. But do I want it? Yes. Michael S. Gutman is here saying, yo, what's up? What's up, Michael? RNG630 says, hello. Hello there. Paladin, I might in the future, but need to save for it. Yeah. I gotta find out the price, I think it's 120, but let me look that up for sure. I don't know what I should do for the poll. I think it's okay, but too expensive. That's a good one. Yeah, see, if there was another poll option, I would if it was a little cheaper, or I will if it goes down in price or something like that. 130, thank you for verifying that. I'm going to pull up the website itself and put that right here. Yeah. And just continue. Yeah, sure, fine. It's not super big. I think it's 1,000 something pieces. 1,003. That's like 1.2 cents each, which is a little bit more than the Pokemon one. The Pokemon one was just about a penny each, right? You're getting like 6,500 pieces, if I'm not mistaken, for $650. It's a penny per brick. Okay. It's also like the 8th or 9th biggest Lego set ever. Pretty cool stat right there. That's a neat little fact. Meaning only 8 or 9 or 7 or 8 Lego sets have ever been bigger than that massive Pokemon 3 Starters Final Evolution Lego set that's coming out soon. So this is a little bit more per brick. But if you're looking at it still, it's like, yeah, a little bit over a penny per brick. That's kind of what Lego does. But Zelda, this is pretty cool. With her magic, a little bit of rubble and stuff. Fallen tower, kind of neat. Ganondorf with his multicolored tail, his 2 swords. Link, jumping off, going for a blow. Got Navi right there. Some fire. Yeah, it's pretty sweet, dude. I like it. Makes you wonder, though. Oh, this one. Oh, yeah, this was even better. Better valuation. 6,838 pieces for $650. That's actually less than a penny per brick. Yeah, that Lego one's, well, a better deal, respectively, when you're breaking it down per brick cost. But, yeah. 18 plus. Ooh. So I guess there's some complexity that they perceive that you should be at least an adult if you want to try making this. Okay. Let's see who else is here though. Oh, Michael is playing Hades 2 right now, along with Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I got a good deal on them. Hades 2 is amazing, and I would give Hyrule Warriors a 9 as of right now. Yeah, Hyrule Warriors is great, and Hades 2 is definitely, excellent. 1,003 pieces. YN M06. Is this the beginning of that year-long Zelda celebration we heard about? Quite possibly. I think it's fair game to count The Legend of Zelda's 40th anniversary anytime between February of this year, so next month, through August of 2027. That's because August 1986 is when Zelda came out in North America. Sorry, August 1987, I think, is when we got it. February 1986 is when it came out in Japan. Either way, from the beginning of the year to when the year would end, I think fair game, right? So, there's a lot that you could do in that time frame. This is something cool to kick it off. We've got the movie in between. And what else we have in between is in between these chats comes an awesome gifted membership from Ash. Big thank you, Ash, for doing that. Let me get your name on the board here. Boom. Thank you, Ash, for that awesome one gifted membership. That brings our total up to 347. Looking good. I appreciate that. Ash Gaming 17 in the house. Big thank you. Victini Blast says, good evening. Good evening. Paladin. I believe it is more like an average 10 cents per brick, which is standard for Legos, a bit more in this case. If it was 10 cents a brick, every 10 would be $1. Wait, is that the case then? Every 10 is $1? 100 is $10? 1,000 is $100? Yeah. 10 cents a brick, not 1 cent a brick. Yeah. Or 10.2 cents a brick in some cases. 18 plus, is it because of Ganon's swords? I don't know if it's because of violence. I don't think so. I think it's because of complexity. But I'm not positive, actually. Could it be because of something deemed scary or something like that? Like, oh, Ganon's face is too frightening. Oh, by the way, we get both Ganon and Ganondorf. So that's kind of cool. It's pretty dope, dude. It's pretty dope. You know what would be cool? If they made a little diorama 360 playground with some spiky explosive balls around it, so you could put your Lego Mario and your Lego Mighty Bowser and recreate that iconic stage from Super Mario 64. Oh, Michael S. Gutman, who has been here for a while, was the recipient, by the way, of that get the membership from Ash. That's nice. I'm playing Silk Song and it's so frustrating. That one area, bro. I haven't beaten Silk Song, but yeah, the game's got some challenge to it. Hope you're enjoying it, though. It would be cool if they included the hammer or Bigoron sword as a reference to losing the Master Sword in the first phase. Yeah, a couple other little weapons would be neat. I agree. Maybe. I'm one of those wanting Twilight Princess HD on Switch 2. That'd be nice. Doing good. About to battle the Wither in Minecraft. That's cool, Ash. I hope you do well with it. YNMO6. How about a Twilight Princess that looks like the Wii U tech demo on Nintendo Switch 2, a full remake? Dude, that's what I would really like to see happen. I got to play that E3 2011 tech demo on Wii U, on the show floor, and behind the scenes before it opened up on the show floor. Yeah, at the Nokia Center itself. And I thought the thing was stunning. Gosh. Now play it. You are more or less moving the camera angle around and switching it back and forth between, light and dark, stuff like that. But still, it was awesome. And dude, that was in 2011. That's a long time ago. 15 years ago. On Wii U tech. That's what Nintendo could have achieved if they cranked up the visuals, probably had a little bit of a smaller game, and made a new Zelda from scratch, or tried to remake Twilight Princess in that fidelity. So take that type of visual look and improve it a little bit now with a little bit of a higher resolution and frame rate, and give us that on Nintendo Switch 2. If the next Zelda game would look like that, I would be plenty pleased. It's enough of a shakeup that I'm all for it. Or if they took the foundations of Twilight Princess HD on Wii U, which was already improved a bit from the original on GameCube/Wii, but was like, yeah, we need to do a recoating of paint all over it. We need to do something like a Metroid Prime Remastered, and then some, because it's Zelda and we know it'll sell more and stuff. So let's put in some more effort, some more money, some more time. That would be a treat. Oh, dang. A couple of quality of life features. Yeah, dude. It'd be awesome. Revan, the Bipolar. Now we just need a Majora's Mask Lego set. Majora's Mask fans report now. Link and alternate forms of Link in his Goron, Zora, Deku form, Fierce Deity final form against Majora. Oh, dude, that would be cool. Oh, the moon or the clock tower. Oh, could you imagine? Dang, the clock tower. With little compartments to climb through and stuff. That would be neat. Oh, even the moon? The moon with a couple of, strong hooks. I don't know if there's a proper term in Lego brick terminology. That's a brick with a little clasp on it that you could hang it from the ceiling. Oh, dang. A rechargeable LED battery pack that you could take from the back out, and you could just charge it maybe once every 100 hours of use, just for the lights on the moon to be glowing or something. Dude, just have it up in the corner somewhere, hanging the moon. Oh, that would be sick. Ooh, I would like that. 2011 was 15 years ago. Yeah, isn't that wild? Man, that's a long time ago. Gosh, Wii U is going to be pretty old soon. I mean, Wii U was 2012, but still. That's about to turn 14. Super Smash Bros. Legos when? Yeah, I could see that maybe one day. Have your own sets, your own stages, battlegrounds. The Pokemon sets are also rated 18 plus, probably because of build complexity, like Paul said, price and piece count. Yeah. Steak 1024 says, hey, Paul and chat didn't have a fifth option for no, but think it's cool for people who want it on the poll. Yeah, there's no fifth option, unfortunately. Because another one was yes, but it's too expensive for me. Or I would, but it's too expensive. Yeah. J Biggs, Mr. NY for life. Hey, what's up, everyone? What's up? Clock Tower set for MM. The whole Terminus set. Yeah. Roger, and you're saying hey to Jay. Cool. I never really played Majora. I've been pushing it back to the side because apparently you don't keep your stuff after resetting time. Well, you keep some stuff. So, play the song that slows down time. Half has it. Play that song. Don't forget to take your money to the bank, deposit the rupees, and certain things like the amount of masks that you collected remain. Certain things like the power-ups that you got from different main masks remain. So you do keep some, but some things get resetted. Yeah. It is a game that does create a certain amount of unwanted stress for some people who play it. I catch that vibe. Imagine if Nintendo pulled a left field and the next 3D Zelda game was done in Lego. Oh boy. I don't know. So, even though that's not what I would want, I would welcome it because I trust that if it's Nintendo developed, it would still be incredible. It would still be amazing. I don't doubt that the polygon models on the bricks in this Lego Zelda world would look stunning, that there would be some unique characteristic charm to the destruction of blocks and the bricks. There would be funny things like Link taking off his head and putting on a bokoblin head, and that's how he infiltrates, enemy camps and whatnot. And it would be a whole bunch of fun physics things that you could do. The lighting and the shadows, all that would be legit. Maybe there would be a little bit of a humor, but dialed back somewhat to not be overly funny just because it's Lego, but still have some of that charm. The bosses would be probably wild, swimming underwater. Like, I think it would work really darn well, but it's not what I would want. I would still welcome it and play it because I have faith in the team, and it would be interesting, and it would be different. Can't take that away, but it's not what I would want. You know what I mean? Or not what I was asking for. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Ha! Not too big that it would fit on a decent sized shelf, Is this the same video that we watched? No, this is a different one. That's so cool, dude. That's so freaking cool. Yeah. Ha. That's cool. Maybe I'll play it once I finish Silksong and Bioshock. Matt21155. What's up? YNMO6. They might do a Lego Zelda because Nintendo loves to experiment with different art styles with Zelda. But maybe a 2D Lego Zelda. Yeah, that's a good possibility too. I mean, now as of last night, or as of yesterday, I guess in general, we have Lego added to Animal Crossing. I did get the Animal Crossing update. I paid the $5. Worth it, I guess. Yeah. But I haven't encountered any Zelda stuff yet in it. Like Link's Awakening Remake, yeah. Tabby Cat Games in the house, lurking. What's up, all? What's up? How's it going today? Ready for the weekend? Caps Paranormal. Hello, Paul. We may get the Zelda sets. My wife and I do have all the Animal Crossing Legos. They're complicated and awesome. That's neat. I don't have any of the Lego Animal Crossing sets. I do have some Animal Crossing Amiibo and some Mario Amiibo. And one Sonic, one Zelda. But that's cool that you have the Animal Crossing ones. That's neat. Is that a Zelda game or just more Legos? What you just saw, that video, was the brand new The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Lego set. Personally, I would be happy if they just did an evolution for their current realistic cell shade style. Like an improvement on the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom look. So kind of like, little bit kind of like Donkey Kong Bonanza, but cranked up a little more. And in Zelda's world, something like that. Interesting poll results. 55%, no, just not interested. But 36%, yes, and it looks awesome, and 9%, yes, but I just think it's okay. Okay, so 55 to 44, or 55 to 45. All right, fair enough, fair enough. Hey, to each their own. Well, that is one of the things that we wanted to talk about today, that I wanted to talk about today. The other thing, I'm going to make another poll for this one. Let's see. Can anybody guess what the poll's going to be? All right, got some variety in there. Next poll. Would you buy a Nintendo Switch 2 Lite later this year? Yes, if it was for the right price. No, not this year, but eventually. No, I'm happy with my NS2. Or no, and I don't have an NS2. A fifth one would have been no, but I would get a Nintendo Switch 2 OLED model or something like that. But let's just see what this poll brings out. By the way, speaking of bringing out, thanks for bringing out the fun in this stream. For the 28 of you already in here this afternoon and already hitting 20 likes. Heck yeah, let's go. Over 20 watching and 20 likes and counting. Those are some good numbers. I appreciate it. Roger, you might pick it up. Cool. Michael saying yay. Yeah. What would be the right price? Well, NS Lite was $150 less than Nintendo Switch, right? No, 100. Yeah. NS was 300, Lite was 200, and then OLED model was 350. So it cost 2/3 of that. 2/3 of 450 would be 300. But with tariffs and RAM and all this stuff, I don't know if there would be a $300 Lite, but I think you couldn't expect it to be any less than 300. And what you also can't expect any less is from Roger gifting 10 awesome memberships today. Wow. That's a big help, bringing us closer to 400 again, 357 now. Superb. Stream at 11. Excellent. Thank you so much, Roger, for that awesome generosity. As always, I appreciate it. I hope you do. I'm grateful for that. Roger, and your 2066 with a super cool 10. Big thank you, Roger. I mean it. Man, who were the recipients? Let's find out. SRF 1031, CC0, Paladin 8669, Sup Fanboys, Mavis Winter, Daniel Clinton, Art Vandalay, Importer Explorer, Hunts 007, Blake DB8CS, Darth Nerd. That's it. That's it. That's cool. Very cool. It's hard to figure out what's a good baseline to hope for consistently on this channel, you know? Like, you always want to evolve and set out for a new goal and stuff like that, but what's a realistic goal? Hey, I'm just happy we hit 500 once, you know? We hit 500 not quite at the end of 2025, but right when we kicked off 2026. The first stream or second stream of the year, January 2nd or 4th or something like that, we hit 505, dude. It was a new all-time high. We had this ratio where we just hit 8,000 total subscribers. We just hit 500 total members. It was like, man, how awesome is that of a stat to know that 1 in every 16 people on this whole channel was a member that subscribed ahead of time. But 500 is not the easiest to maintain at all times. So what is like that realistic, come on, don't let it fall behind this? 400? I don't know. I'm grateful for whatever, though, you know? So from anybody who has ever just willingly subscribed, joined up to be a member, or those lucky enough, fortunate enough to be the recipients, I'm grateful for all of you being here. And also, you know, big thanks to folks like Roger Enyart, Stake 1024, for oftentimes being responsible for these influxes of members. Super rad. Paladin saying thank you for the membership. Yeah. My guess would be that the Switch 2 Lite would be $350. Yeah, I'd like it to be $300, but $350, I think in today's market is a little bit more reasonable or expected, kind of, you know. A sixth could have been, I don't need another Switch. I'm fine with my Switch 2. Well, that one's kind of like, no, and I'm happy with my Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, that's kind of that one. Just having a cheaper point of entry with the Switch 2 Lite would be cool. Yeah. The Cringe Prophet, new members. Yeah, you know it, the Cringe Prophet. The subscribers are going up every day, a little bit. I don't yet know what is the goal for subscribers this year. I mean, obviously, I'd like to see it continue going up, but last year was just so amazing where more than half of the channel's history was gained in 2025's calendar year alone. I don't know if I could expect something like that this year, because that would mean like over 12,000 by the end of this year. That seems a little high. So just 10,000 alone would be a really, really cool number, you know? But we'll see. I am waiting or hoping for a Zelda version, says Tabby. Yeah. Dang, we were talking the other day in this stream about an all gold Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. That would be so fun to have. I'd probably buy that. I was considering the Resident Evil Requiem controller, but like, no, I don't need it. It's not different enough to justify having it when I don't really need it, because I have the Tears of the Kingdom Pro controller on Nintendo Switch, basic black, still older Joy-Cons that work, like, so I don't need that unless if it's like quite visually distinct and different. Okay, you know. So I'm holding off on a new Pro controller too at this point. But you make it easy for me. All red, all blue, all yellow, all green. You have those 4 variants. I will probably buy each one totally out of nostalgia, wanting that visual awesome look on my entertainment center, you know, or something like all gold, right? I'd absolutely buy a Switch 2 Lite. Personally, I don't care for the larger size of the Switch 2. Far prefer the Switch 1 size. Yeah, that's another good point. Some people might not need the bigger screen or might not like the bigger bulk in their hands. And I guess it also depends on, do you plan on hooking it into the TV or not at all? I would have liked, I will say this, if the Nintendo Switch Lite could have also just connected to the TV. Just one more little thing. Yeah, you're really trying to cut out some costs, but if it just had that functionality, how much more valuable would it be? I do hope that if Nintendo makes a smaller screen, more affordable Nintendo Switch 2 Lite, maybe without removable Joy-Cons, stuff like that. What else do you cut? I mean, do you remove the kickstand altogether, or do you still leave it in because then people could benefit from playing in tabletop mode, with the Pro Controller still? What else do you do, right? But if they do, just keep that little component in that still allows it to connect to the TV, because it's a powerful enough of a system that you still want it to occupy that home screen, home TV space. You want it to flex its power and someone to be like, this is my all-in-one. Even though I probably won't use it on the TV, I can. Maybe you have to buy a separate cable. Maybe you have to buy a separate component for it to sit into the dock, or you make it work with the existing dock somehow, but you find a way to make it work. Heck, you make somebody have to buy the thing that allows you to put the NS2 Lite into this thing, into the dock, and then there's how you make some extra money. But have it be an option. Have it be possible. I think that would be a smart way to go. I want a Switch 2 Lite OLED, since I never experienced the OLED screen, even though I had the original OLED Switch, just never used it in handheld. Yeah? One thing that I would like to see, although this is it's just it's this back and forth between what do you put into this thing to make it more or less expensive. But if Nintendo ever were to release a Nintendo Switch 2 OLED model with an even bigger screen and more clear screen, and let's say they crank up the volume rockers and they increase the audio quality that is capable of coming out, and they make the kickstand even more strong, and then they find a way how to reduce the bezel size a little bit better, but you really can't too much unless if you change it and have the male-female parts switch on the Joy-Con, but then the other Joy-Cons don't quite work. And dude, well, first of all, I don't care about the bezels. Whatever, bezels don't bother me. They never have. I don't complain about the bezels. That's not a problem in my book. But what is something I would like to see is that model would be nice if it's already going to cost more, a little bit more premium. Throw in 512 gigabytes of internal storage memory instead of the 256. Or allow for 2 micro SD express card slots. Or a micro SD express card slot and a micro SD XC slot, so you could have an easier time sticking your Nintendo Switch library on it. Oh. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of it being a Lite? Well, Lite could be perceived as it's light in features, is lighter in weight, it's lighter in overall size, but it doesn't have to be so light that it takes out one of the fundamental reasons of the Nintendo Switch being called the Nintendo Switch, and that's because you could switch between formats. You could switch between being portable and TV, between being an on-the-go device and something that's a tabletop device. Switch between playing old school games and new school games. Switch between gaming entertainment and streaming apps, right? So there's a lot that you could infer from Switch. Switch 2 Lite, it could be light because it is a lighter unit in terms of grams, lighter in overall size, lighter in screen size reduction, lighter in the, hey, maybe we actually found a way how to increase the brightness, lighter in that, yeah, you cannot remove the Joy-Cons. They're a part of the system, so it's less moving parts, less to go wrong, but not so light that it doesn't have one of the components that makes Nintendo Switch 2 so attractive, being this dual device. Because maybe somebody wants all of those things, but also wouldn't mind, hey, I would like to actually connect to the TV too. But I'm okay with paying like $50 later or $30 later for a little bit of a dongle or something like that. Or maybe not having the most elegant of a solution, but still being able to hook it to the TV. So I don't think you have to make it not be able to play on the TV. Just release a special dock for it on the side. Now, why would anybody buy it then? Why not just buy a normal one? Because maybe someone doesn't have $450 up front, but they have $350 up front, and later on, they could see themselves buying a special dock. Oh, satisfy multiple different types of gamers. You've got to pre-anticipate your audiences. And when you do that, you don't sell to the existing crowd. That's when you start selling to new crowds. You know? Yeah. By the way, do y'all know what today is? Let me read a couple of things before I get into it. Do y'all know what today is? I don't know if y'all know. I'm going to read a couple more points. I'm going to then go over the poll. We'll close the poll. So in the meantime, though, do you know what today is? I would love if Nintendo made a first-party travel dock that is smaller, and it would work with the Switch 2 Lite. Yeah, options. That's a nice-looking Lego set. Yeah, EcoTank 420. I agree. All right. Poll. No, I'm happy with my NS2. That's 58% right there. Yes, if it was for the right price. 29% would be like, yeah, not this year, but eventually. Cool. No, I don't have an NS2. So 4% don't have it, but they're like, even that, no. Maybe OLED for you, or maybe nothing at all. But good to know. I already know. Yeah, Paladin got it. Paladin 8669 says, the beginning of Countdown, Paul. Yes, 1 year ago today, the Nintendo Switch 2 was first revealed and gave birth. Countdown guy, let's go. Today in gaming history, January 16th, 2025.
Hold on.
Today in gaming history, January 16th, 2025, Nintendo officially revealed the Nintendo Switch 2, and with it, Paul Gale Network began the 76-day countdown till the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct. That was a year ago today, folks! Today in gaming history, January 16th, 2025, Nintendo officially revealed the Nintendo Switch 2, and with it, Paul Gale Network began the 76-day countdown until the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct. Woo! 1 year ago today! I've been holding on to this excitement all stream long because not that I wasn't excited about the Animal Crossing stuff. I've been having a little bit of fun with it so far. This morning I played, like I said, just haven't encountered the Zelda stuff myself yet. Yes, I'm excited about the Lego Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time set. But what I'm really hyped about today is that it's the 1 year anniversary, and I don't see anybody talking about it online of when Nintendo Switch 2 was first revealed. That's a big deal. Now, I think it's a big deal for everyone out there because we're a huge Nintendo community, so how could you not be excited for the 1 year anniversary? Everybody was glued to their computer monitors or their iPads or iPhones or something like that a year ago today. Oh, baby, let's see it. Oh, the Nintendo Switch 2. Mario Kart before it even became known as Mario Kart World. A bigger screen. Ooh, new Joy-Cons. Oh, something that looks like it might be a mouse sliding around. A new kickstand. Wow, it looks slick and cool. And then see you all on April 2nd. Ah, goosebumps, sheer goosebumps of emotional power. And with that, by the way, we've got 31 people watching now. So thank you for joining me as I'm filled with hype. I'm glad I get to share this with so many folks. Oh, and not only do we have 32 people watching, but we almost have 30 likes. We've got 27 likes up in here. So big thank you, everybody, for hitting that like button. But as I was saying, let me rewind. Everybody was happy that day to see the console, to finally get the name, because folks like myself were already calling it Nintendo Switch 2 for a while, but we didn't know. Some of us were right that it was indeed Nintendo Switch 2. Some that thought it might be something else were wrong. I previously thought of a couple of fun ideas like, could it be called Nintendo Switch TOO? I don't think so. I think they're just going to go with the number 2. Way back, I thought, could this thing be called Nintendo Switch Plus? Back when I thought the OLED model would have been a plus, like we had the Lite, and then the next one would have been a plus. But then we got OLED model, which was just bigger screen, not more power and stuff. But yeah, dude, like Nintendo Switch 2 shown off a year ago today. And then on the personal side, it was that day I decided, you know what? I'm doing a countdown. How many days is it? 76. So, oh, I'm not signed in. Nah, that's okay. I was going to like it. I was going to, I don't know, like my own video, man. Shoot. By the way, I dropped the link in the chat. If you don't mind clicking that link, dropping a like, dropping a comment. Today's the 1 year anniversary of something very awesome for this community. Let me get back to comments. But Paladin, you were correct. Bradley Taylor in the house saying hi. RNG 630, 1 year anniversary of Switch 2 reveal. Yes. Joycey J, no clue. Well, now you know. JM Powers, OMG, can we talk about the RE9 thing yesterday? They're selling Leon's car. Leon looks like he's going to be as fun to play as in RE4, if not more. The only thing we didn't get to see yet is the amiibo. But I'm looking forward to that game, dude. Next month. First person mode. Third person. I'm going to have to experiment with both. I have a feeling I'm going to want to play more in third, as that's how I have favored and been exposed to Resident Evil more over the years, but I'm going to give both a shot. Blanky19 says, Nintendo might think a Switch Lite that connects to a TV would cannibalize the sales of the normal Switch. Well, you mean a Switch 2 Lite? If a Switch 2 Lite ends up being the better selling SKU, then that's where they would put their manufacturing in. And if they would be worried that it's not enough money, well, it's probably going to be a little bit nerfed, so the profit margins are still probably going to be all right. And if you're selling this additional accessory on the side to make it go into docks, guess what? You have to either already have an NS2 dock for it to work, therefore you already have to be an NS2 owner, or you still have to buy that dock separately, which is like $120 on their site. So I don't know if they'd be too worried about one SKU selling more than their other, because I'm pretty sure that they would make the profit margins what they want for each one. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's possible. Yep, we're getting that RE9 amiibo. That we've known about for a while, but we haven't seen it yet. And I'm very curious. They're selling Leon's watch, yes. Yeah, that looks pretty neat. Bradley Taylor, when do you think the next February Direct is? I say February 10th. I think it'll be the 11th or 10th. That's what I'm putting my thoughts around. The animation they did of the Switch turning into the Switch 2 was a fun way to reveal the console, huh? How is Peach doing? Good, thank you. Your pug Wilbur is doing well. He's currently napping. Oh, that sounds like a nice pug afternoon. I'm glad. Hello, Wilbur. I hope you're doing well. I was hoping for the Super Nintendo Switch for the name, but the Switch 2 makes more sense. Yeah, Super Nintendo Switch, Nintendo Switch Super, fun little throwbacks. Yeah, those were cool too. I'm planning to get Mario Tennis Fever on release date. That's cool. LOL, my bad. I'm terrible with dates and times. That's okay, Joyce. Yeah, that's why I have created what I've created on the internet. So every day people could get a little morsel of video game history, and stay glued in. It's better than a calendar. You wake up in the morning, you're like, I don't know what day it is. So you look on the wall and you look at your cat calendar, and you're like, oh yeah, it's January 16th. That's cool. Or you go on your phone to either YouTube, X, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and you're like, Paul Gale Network, what day is it today? Oh, it's January 16th. Oh, and what happened in gaming history on this day? Boom. Yeah. By the way, speaking of boom, 31 people watching, 31 likes. Woo! Big thank you. Heck yeah. Perfect numbers right there. I would have been okay with the new Ultra Super Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Max Plus. That would have worked. I will play 7 in first person. 8 and 9 will play in third. I played 7. I have 7 on PS4. That was first person only. I've played the demo of 8, but I never bought 8. So when I bought the generation pack for Nintendo Switch 2, I was like, dude, this is a good deal. This is $90. It's $70 for Requiem, which is fine, and it's $10 each for these other two. Even if I acknowledge I didn't need 7 again, dude, then it's $20 for 8, and 7 is a freebie. It was worth it. It was worth it. Paul, make a calendar app for us. Right? That's the next plan, Joycey. I'm sure they're going to show us the amiibo with the next Direct. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got the Direct coming next month and Resident Evil? Come on. That amiibo is going to show up there. Ooh, this Direct's going to be so cool. Remember back in December 2023 when we got the release of the Nintendo Switch 2 song from Mike Odyssey? That was a good song. My body is ready for Switch 2. Wait a minute. That wasn't back in 2023. Oh, you just corrected yourself. 2024. I was like, yeah, that sounds a bit more accurate. Was it 2024? I guess it was. It's been a while ago. That was a fun song. I feel like Nintendo will open with 3D Mario at the Nintendo Direct and close with 3D Zelda. Oh boy, if they actually did a 3D Mario and a 3D Zelda, I don't care if it's a new 3D Mario and a new 3D Zelda, a new 3D Mario, and a remake of Ocarina of Time looking awesome, or a remastered remake of Twilight Princess looking legit. Oof, that'd be good. I wouldn't mind messing with the fans, opening it up with Zelda 40th Anniversary talk. And I've said this in a previous stream or two, where you show off something cool and unexpected, like, all right, here is The Legend of Zelda 1 HD 2D remake being made by our friends over at Square Enix. What? Or here is Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link being made by our friends over at Way Forward. Or here's something coming to NSO. Enjoy. The Legend of Zelda 40, and it's a Super Mario Bros. 35, Tetris 99, F-Zero 99 like game of 40 people, limited time, only available for a year or something like that, or less, whatever, of Zelda. Pretty cool. Here is another look at that Zelda Ocarina of Time set. Cool. Here is a Wii U port coming, but now in 4K. Enjoy. The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. And now it's in 4K 60, and we decided, you could play the game in its original format with the Super Sail cloth, or in the new quality of life / director's cut model with a new temple or something like that, and some other refinements in the gameplay. And that's exciting. Or Twilight Princess. I wouldn't want it to be just this, but the Twilight Princess HD Wii U port, but now in 4K 60, I'm like, I think that game needs a little bit more. I think it deserves a little bit more, whereas Wind Waker needs less, And finally, the first official poster reveal of next year's The Legend of Zelda movie. And then they cut with a screen. By the way, we are hard at work now at the next mainline The Legend of Zelda title. Here is the working logo, and it's The Legend of Zelda. Maybe they have the full title, or maybe not, but you see the color and some flowers and some kind of hint of it, and that is all for today. But then the whole direct goes by, and then the last thing is The Legend of Zelda 40th anniversary of the whole franchise remake of Ocarina of Time coming out this November. Woo! You did something cool enough for the Zelda fans to wake up at the beginning of the direct. Not all of what I said, but some of those things that I said. That's pretty cool, but wasn't enough for everybody, because it's like, okay, cool, I like this HD 2D thing here, or I like that port of the Wind Waker one there. Oh, that Zelda 40th NSO thing is neat. Yeah, cool that they did the Lego thing, or that they showed a little 10-second tease of Link with the fire arrow unleashing or something, or just a poster from the movie, but like not the big thing. Even like that little tease of a new Zelda's on the way. No video footage. And then the direct goes by, and it's beautiful. It's nice. It's got Resident Evil 9 in there. It's got a Street Fighter 6 update. Pragmata. Some cool surprise like Halo campaign evolved come in, and Gears of War drop in. Maybe a 3D Mario, Monster Hunter Stories 2, all that good stuff. But then there's one last thing. It's like, we could have shown this at the beginning, but we wanted to truly surprise you. Enjoy. Dude, the emotional roller coaster that people would be on. How happy and how shocked you would be thinking, I guess that's it for Zelda. I guess I'm not getting my big Zelda this year. Boo-hoo. Come on. There's plenty of other stuff. Like if they showed a new Xenoblade or more footage on Fire Emblem or Yoshi the Mysterious looked awesome, would you really be complaining about no big Zelda game this year? There would be people that would complain. Even though there's so many other cool things. They show off Splatoon 4. They show off Splatoon Raiders with a release date. Like whatever. You still didn't get that one Zelda. But at the end of the direct you would. Dang it. Dang it, would that be sweet. Oh! Man. That's how I would do it. Because it'd just be unexpected, I think they updated 7 to have a third-person mode, but I've never played first-person RE, so that will be the one. They updated 8 to have a third-person mode, but I don't know if they did 7. I don't think so. But I could be wrong. I don't remember. PGN Today app coming soon. I still want them to release a game where you play as Ganondorf and it's his origin story. I do like that idea. We've talked about that before. That would be cool. Zelda RPG by Monolith Soft would be the ultimate surprise for me personally. Yeah. Zelda RPG by Monolith Soft. Back in the day, I was like, dude, Zelda RPG by the Squaresoft team or the Square Enix team. I could see that. But now in-house they have Monolith Soft, so that would be pretty sweet. I mentioned the other day my liking of a Legend of Zelda themed 3D arena based fighter like Soul Calibur with a cast of like 16 different fighters. That'd be sweet. New 3D Mario should be called Super Mario Journey, and new 3D Zelda, I don't know. Super Mario Galaxy 3 I like. Super Mario Universe I like. I'm okay with Super Mario Odyssey 2. I'm okay with a Super Mario whatever. Like, dude, I'm going to play the heck out of that thing. It's going to be one of the best games of the year for me. And probably in general, honestly. Like, Nintendo doesn't fail with 3D Mario games. I want to see them remake the Minish Cap. That was a really good one. That is a really good one. That anniversary was just recently, too. My Dream Nintendo Direct. New 3D Mario. New 3D Zelda. Smash Bros. 6. Luigi's Mansion 4. Mario Kart World DLC. Pikmin 5. Dude, that is pretty hype right there. I wouldn't complain if I get an amazing Fire Emblem, but Fire Emblem better be Zelda worthy. I mean, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave looks like it could be pretty good. I think it'll be good. I mean, if it's at least as good as Three Houses, I am set. I am hyped. What if at the end of the show, they show off the new Legend of Zelda and Link spoke? Oh, in like a game or movie? Probably you mean game, Roger? That would be pretty neat. Or they have a voice talking? This is going to be a tough battle. I don't know if I could pull it off. If only I had more strength. That's why I need to find the Triforce of Courage. And the camera pans around and you saw that Link was talking this whole time. Coming 2027. Oh, man. Ooh, I could see that being... I just gave myself goosebumps. Just envisioning that, shoot. No one would be like, who's talking? What is this? Who's this voice actor? Is that a familiar voice? Is that PGN talking? What is this? Trying to find the power. If only I was stronger. Must find the Triforce of strength, courage, wisdom, power. Something like, oh man. Yeah. Gosh. That's why I need to find the Triforce of Courage. See, I've got the actor side, the writing side, and the directorial side. So, putting this together was pretty fun right now. Whew. Tiger Assist. I thought they did it to both. If not, it will still be the only one I play first person. Yeah, maybe they did on 7. What if Splatoon Raiders is the single player campaign for Splatoon 4? Do you think they would do that? I mean, maybe. I think Splatoon Raiders is going to be its own thing. Could it tie into Splatoon 4? Like a prequel-esque kind of thing, an adjacent thing? Possibly, you know. Lee J05, hey there. HMod661. It'd be like a full-on remake or sequel for Twilight Princess, as there was one planned, but Link's crossbow training was made instead. You know, Link's crossbow training is a fun game. But it's not because of it that a Twilight Princess 2 never existed. It's been 20 years. They could have made one in the last 20 years if they wanted one. So it's not like, oh, Twilight Princess destroyed that chance. They could have made one the following year if they felt like it. But no, they went with Skyward Sword. So Twilight Princess could have had a sequel all this time if Nintendo chose to. I am patiently waiting for Fortune's Weave. Yeah. We need Nate the Hate to do his podcast so we know when the Nintendo Direct is. OMG, you broke PGN Roger. That would wreck the internet. What is your favorite Nintendo Direct of all time? Mine is a Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct from April 2nd, 2025. That might be my favorite Nintendo Direct. I remember that Nintendo Direct on April 2nd. I watched it in the morning, was super hyped up, and then I hopped on Nintendo Prime's podcast. I was on Nate's podcast in the early evening, late afternoon. First, I was on the podcast on my smartphone, and then sitting right here on my podcast for the vast majority of it. And like, dude, we just talked and talked and talked and rewound and had so much fun on that April 2nd podcast for that April 2nd Nintendo Direct. It was so cool because I was leading this, 76-day countdown, and it was so much fun. So there was like personal extra investment into it. It was the longest amount of time between announcements and releases of Nintendo Directs. We had like a 30-day lead up once for a Nintendo Switch one. We used to have some 7-day kind of things, but most of the time they're like 1-2 day drops. But that one was a special one. I'm trying to think. Other favorites or other solo announcements. A couple of the E3 ones have been really wild, really powerful, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate reveal. That's a big one. Banjo-Kazooie being announced in Super Smash Brothers. The fact that Tears of the Kingdom, at the time, Breath of the Wild sequel in development, big. Yeah. Nintendo's crushed it, man. In this era, they have crushed it. When do you think the next GameStop midnight releases? I say for 3D Mario, 3D Zelda, or Smash Bros. 6. I think Grand Theft Auto 6 will get one. I could see Wolverine getting one. If a 3D Mario comes out this year, I'd say that's pretty reasonable to expect. Or an Ocarina of Time or something like that, that would get one. I got to cut out early and take a nap. Pain kicking in. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. Talk to y'all soon. Good stream. Thank you. What were the last sales you heard for Switch 2? Still that 15 million mark? Hey, Nintendo Prime. Yeah, still 15 million was the last number as of December 5th. So I've talked about it on a stream before, just speculating what I think it could do. And you look at, okay, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Nintendo Switch 2 did something like 830,000 in Japan alone in December. Let's say that 200,000 or so of those were a part of that, like up until December 5th thing. So if that's reasonable to expect, I guess you would take a look at 15 plus another 600,000 and call it 15.6. Now, previously, Nintendo Switch 2 sales in Japan occupy about 22% of the grand total. If that were still true for this upcoming quarter, and you look at all of the sales from Japan and extrapolate that, then you could very well look at a high 17, low 18 million. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think that Japan only made up 22% of the Nintendo Switches. I think they're uh, amount of stock in the total volume of Nintendo Switch 2 sold went up because of a stronger desire in Japan and a little bit of a weaker than expected amount of sales in Nintendo. Not poor in North America. A little bit of weaker sales in North America. I think I said in Nintendo. A little bit of weaker sales than expected in the United States, in Europe, in Australia, etc. But not poor, just less. Tariffs, what have you, economic uncertainties. You could put any kind of reasoning why, but I think it is what it is. So I think that Nintendo Switch 2 in Japan might have occupied something like maybe 35% of the total. Probably not 50%. That would be a little bit too high, too bold. But on the best case scenario, dude, if it's like in that 22% range, you've got like a high 17, low 18 million selling Nintendo Switch 2. But that's just too high, in my opinion. Confidently, earlier, I was like 16 to 17.5 is my range. You know that. We text often enough. But I just don't have any number after that 15. So, in just using some calculations and some rough estimates, I'm getting 15.6 and just cannot see a world where it was less than 15.8 because that would mean, dude, you're telling me that only 200,000 sold in North America, Europe, Australia? Like, no way. Okay, but what if only 600,000 more sold? Oh, that's still pretty weak. But then you look at that 600,000, which would not be that hot, and you add that to the 15.6, and you're looking at like 16.2. So 16.2 is still not that wonderful. Unless if that 15, don't forget, that 15 is a shipped. When we get these Famitsu numbers, those include sold, right? Into individuals' homes. So what if potentially that 15 occupied a little bit more of the 830,000? Like, I'm estimating that that 15 million might have included 200,000 of Japan's 830,000 for December, right? But what if that 15 already included, 400,000 of the 830? That paints a little bit of a different picture. Then all of a sudden, you're looking at Japan's 400,000 or 430,000 that you add on to that 15. Now you're looking at 15.4. Now you start to get into a point where, okay, you take that 15.4, and what if that 15.4, you say 430,000 more at that point, and that 430,000 is about a third, implying that, okay, Nintendo did 1,260,000 elsewhere, which is now starting to be a little bit more respectable, and you're adding 15.4 to the 1.2, and now you're looking at 16.6. Okay, I could see that as a little bit more likely. All along, I told you, I think before I might have even put it on X, I don't know, that I think the safe bet is kind of in between my in between my low end of 16 and high end of 17.5, where I was just like, boom, call it 16.75. That's not bad. We'll see if I'm right or not on my guesstimate. But when you look at the data that I just surmised, but some of that data is a little bit inconclusive because I don't know up until what point did that 15 be at the shipped. And exactly, okay, on the North American front, if you ever look at the Circana sales, they don't exactly always go from the 1st through the 31st, the 1st through the 30th, the 1st through the 28th. They have a little bit of a carryover. For that matter, Famitsu does as well. It's not like look at the sales for the end of 2025. That fiscal year end for Nintendo is going to be the 31st. On Famitsu's side, it goes up to like December 28th, and then the new week of 2026 begins December 29th. Do you cut and divide the week into sevenths and then say, okay, we could give Nintendo's 2025 performance a little bit more and take away a little bit of the tail end of that performance. But then how do you calculate and justify for the weekends? Are the weekends occupying in general, 50% of the total week? So how do you extrapolate that? Well, you cut that aside and you cut that aside, and that's how you find out your new base number. It gets a little bit too convoluted, in my opinion, but that is what I do, and I do try to break it down as accurately as possible before I share something. So in the end, there's a lot of, I guess, some nuggets, and I have a lot of thoughts, and I put the nuggets and the thoughts, and I look at the past, present, and try to anticipate the future, and that's what I come up with. But long answer short, no new number. So I'm just sticking with my safe. I think it's still between 16 and 17.5. I can't really see it being less than 15.8 unless that 15 as of December 5th included a decent amount of the stock that ended up selling, but was already sold to retailers, but ended up selling later to the Japanese market in particular, and other ones as well. So that's the only world where I see it being less than 15.8. Any world where it's over 18 means, oh no, just because Nintendo Switch 2 didn't do as well as expected in North America, it did pretty damn well. Maybe it didn't do as well as PlayStation 5 in Europe for the month of December or something like that, right? But still really good. So is it below expectations? Maybe. But it did it under-deliver? No, it just meant the competition did an over-deliverance, right? So I know that's a lot, but you ask me a question on sales data, I don't want to just spit out, I don't know, maybe like 15, 16, I want to give you the depth because that's how I work. Oh, Resident Evil 9, just projecting to myself for their meeting in a few weeks. Yeah, we're going to get that. That's going to be exciting. That's going to be really cool. Another cool thing was going to be the Metroid Prime 4 Beyond sales. That will be interesting as well. I'm kind of hyped for that. RE9 should get a midnight launch. Maybe. I mean, it has the right crowd. I could see it. Bradley Taylor got to go. See you later. Ito Zevank Kruto. Do you think it's worth buying Switch 2 when you have a Switch 1? Absolutely yes. You are getting a brand new generation of Nintendo gaming goodness. If you like 3D Mario, like Odyssey, you're getting the next 3D Mario eventually. If you like 3D Zelda, like Tears of the Kingdom, this is the console where it's going to eventually give you that next mainline new 3D Zelda game. And rinse and repeat for Splatoon and Animal Crossing, and there's already beautiful stuff out there like Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza. If you have other systems, then maybe Street Fighter 6 and Split Fiction and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 don't necessarily apply to you. But if you don't have other systems, dang, Nintendo Switch 2 has quite a bit of varied third-party software that's quite compelling and has software on the horizon like Resident Evil Requiem and Pragmata and Indiana Jones that are all good-looking, already known to be good, or seemingly will be well worth titles buying. The outlook for 2026 is solid in my opinion. The system is also backwards compatible, improving all the games on Nintendo Switch when played on Nintendo Switch 2. So yeah, I could 100% recommend Nintendo Switch 2, in my opinion. Darth Nerd. Do you believe that the NS2 Lite is already close to releasing in 2027? In 2027? I mean, I could see it come out in 2027. Nintendo Switch came out March of 2017. Nintendo Switch Lite came out September of 2019. That's 2.5 years later. Nintendo Switch OLED model came out October of 2019. another 2 years, 1 month later. 2017, depending on the month, would be 2+ years after Nintendo Switch 2. So if there's a Nintendo Switch 2 Lite in 2027, I believe it. If a Nintendo Switch 2 Lite comes out this year, if it's like November or something like that, that'd be a year and 5 months. But a year and 5 months is not unreasonably early, because if you look at the time between Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Advance SP, it was June 2001 and then mid 2002 for SP. So a year and a half-ish. If you look at the DS, November 2004, and then DS Lite, June 2006, you're looking at a year and 7 months. So a year and 5 months wouldn't be too crazy if that's the case, that if that ends up being the case with the Nintendo Switch 2 Lite. Yeah. But we'll see. Good question, though. Why didn't Nintendo have a new 3D Mario ready for Switch 2? They could sell so many more systems than Mario or Zelda. So, Nintendo had such a powerful interest in Nintendo Switch 2 that they didn't need to have a new Zelda or Mario at launch. Instead of selling to everyone that already really wants a system also a game that they really want, they can't later on use one of those two big juggernaut games that everybody wants to later on build up a greater audience, because the people already bought it all at once here. Not that they wouldn't still sell, but you got to strategically drop things throughout a generation. You kicked off the system with freaking 15 million people that already wanted one no matter what in the first 6 months. And you had Mario Kart, which is a tremendous seller. Don't forget, Mario Kart is always one of the best-selling games per generation, per Nintendo platform, all the way back to the SNES. It's always one of the best-selling per gen. And then a month later, you had Donkey Kong Bonanza, another giant one. So you didn't need 3D Mario or 3D Zelda yet. But to maintain interest, to maintain hype, you now sell a 3D Mario or 3D Zelda to an install base of 20-something million. You strategically put it, announcing that it's going to come out before or after the Super Mario Galaxy movie, have it release sometime thereafter that, and dude, you just steamrolling, snowballing, success for 3D Mario. Zelda, you put it close to the next, or I should say, the Zelda movie, and you're going to build hype one on top of the other on top of the other. So it's all about strategic rollout. So they didn't need to have 3D Mario or 3D Zelda at launch, in my opinion. They're my favorite IPs too, trust me, I want them, but they didn't quite need them. Mario and Zelda is coming. They'll sell more systems, they will. Paul, your shorts are so wholesome. Thank you, Fire Legend. I think there would be a new Mario or Zelda game, but I think a new Mario Kart is a great game to start. Yep. We should watch all of the Bayonetta shorts and vote which one is the best. Ooh, that would be a good poll. That'd be a good poll. I was checking out the new DLSS 4.5 on PC. If they could bring aspects of it to Switch 2, stuff is going to look even better. True. It's not like the DLSS is just locked in, boom, done on NS2. Things can get updated to a certain extent. Things that they have to use key cards. I mean, at a certain point, what do you expect? If a game's going to be 120 gigabytes, it just won't fit on a Nintendo 64 gigabyte cartridge. It just won't. So you either don't put it on the system at all, you have to severely compromise it, or you make it available digitally and via game keycard. I think if a game can fit on a Nintendo 64 gigabyte cartridge, you try to make it work. You know, you do try to make it work. Or if it's like 76, dude, just do what the developers of Doom 2016 did. They put Doom on one cartridge on Nintendo Switch, and they put the multiplayer as a download. So if you could partition your game in a way that, hey, asterisk, download will be needed for approximately 12 gigabytes of space to have the full game and all of its content on this experience, as a part of this experience. So you have to buy the cartridge, 64 gigs, cool, and you're going to have to download 12 for the rest. That would be okay, because then it would eat up less of our space. But I do think there's going to be a duality of more cartridges this year, because we're going to get some 32, 16 gigabyte versions of those carts that developers can put their stuff onto, have a little bit more money left over, afford it a little bit better, etc. But we're also going to get more key cards, because games are only going to get bigger, and when you're going to get Call of Duty, I don't know if Call of Duty is going to fit on a cartridge, you know? So you'll get a little bit of both, I believe. Crimson Desert is also coming per Kiwi Talks. Stake 1024 dropping that fantastic Paulo Netta emoji. Marky PK saying, hey everyone. Figure drawing. I know a lot of people who bought the Switch 2 mainly to play beefed up older games. Yeah, it's undeniable. It's a solid point. I enjoyed DK, was happy to see it. Heck yeah. Joycey, spoiler, all the Bayonetta shorts are great, and I can't choose a favorite. That's good. When they're that good, you can't choose a favorite? That's very good to know. You think the RAM shortage will force them to increase the console price? You know, Darth Nerd, it's a possibility, but there is a world that exists where even though the RAM prices aren't helping out Nintendo, they have above expected profits in so many areas that they don't have to raise the prices. The Super Mario Galaxy movie did way more than they thought. They were expecting 1.4 billion, it does 1.6. Donkey Kong Bonanza, they were expecting it to do 7, it did 9. You know, Rhythm Heaven and Tamagotchi Life, they were thinking, oh yeah, it might be like 3 to 7. Like, dude, these were 11 million sellers, etc., etc. I'm just doing some hypothetical spitting it out there, right? If that's the case, that's a way that they might say, you know what, we don't need to raise the price on the RAM. We're making enough off of software more. Or maybe they raise up NSO. Or they find a way to conveniently make the Nintendo Switch 2 now a $500 system, but they include Welcome Tour in every unit. It's a decent compromise. Ito, what game do you think should get remastered for the Switch 2? I mean, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, I would like to see them take more care with it and make that thing look like the E3 2011 tech demo, but cranked up a bit at 4K 60 with some more quality of life features to it. Dude, would be wonderful. I don't replay games all that often from start to finish, but if there's a significant change, if it's a significant amount of years later or a big enough of a upgrade in some capacity, that'll get me to play it. Yeah, so like that kind of remaster, I'll be down with that. Do you think we'll ever get a version 2 of the game key cards that have cheap, slower storage with a full game but requires download to the system storage? Possibly. I was discussing something like that earlier. Like, you know, could we get part of the game and then download the rest? Maybe. I buy all digital, so key cards really don't affect me. I just like the convenience. I'm currently playing 3.0 update on Animal Crossing New Horizons. Very cool. Renegade. Wait, no way. I would absolutely lose my mind if they do a remake of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. That's my favorite game. Yes. Yes. If we get that this year, it'd be just about the coolest thing ever, you know? Yes, Paul's on my team. Hashtag justice for Twilight Princess. Chris Power, official. Hi there. Fire Legend. Would it be nice if we got a Switch game theme bundle with the color scheme? That'd be cool. New colors are always good. By the way, we talked earlier about what happened today 1 year ago, and that was the reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2, which not a lot of people are talking about online. I mean, if you go to Nintendo Prime's YouTube channel, you'll see he's got the short up. He knows what's up today. I know what's up. You look at my channel, it's the pinned comment right there. But you know what also happened today? Today in gaming history, January 16th, 2025, Paul Gale Network launched the 76-day countdown until the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct and became known as the Countdown Guy. That's right! Today in gaming. That's right! Today's also the birth of the Countdown Guy. Boom! There we go. I'm gonna make that the new pinned comment. If you would be so kind as to click that link, watch that video, hit that like button on it, drop a comment. Shoot, we've got 37 people now, 42 likes up in here. Big thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Woo, 42 likes. That sounds nice. That's more than we have watchers, more than we have viewers right now. It's pretty good stuff. Hope you're all liking the content. But yeah, this was the first countdown. Public video form countdown. I've been counting down stuff for years. You know, I told you, when I was a student in school, I would count down, make my own little calendar and count down the days to E3 because I was going to go. And yeah, counting down to different game releases. But yeah, video format, here we go. This was fun. RX Gaming, OMG, LOL, you're the guy from the short. Yeah, I am the guy from the short. That's one of the things I do. And that's it. I wonder if all the rumors leading up to made the reveal less memorable for some people. You know, Paladin, that is a good point. I think that if there was no leak or whatever, that this next system might have like a mouse mode or something. And we saw for the first time in the trailer with the Nintendo Joy-Cons and the wrist straps like looking like a tail. Gosh, the speculation that we would all have. And then by the time it gets to April 2nd and we have that Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct and they officially show off mouse mode, oh, what? So a little bit of that wow moment was taken out because it was already being speculated prior to January 16th that, oh yeah, these Joy-Cons might serve as a mouse and stuff, you know. So yeah, that would have been a little bit more exciting. Or, oh wow, they really changed up the size and the shape of the kickstand. More of a handle, cool, you know. You were elected the president of Nintendo as well. No, but I've known multiple Nintendo presidents. But no, I wasn't elected as president of Nintendo. LOL is nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, RX Gaming. Ito ze vanke kruto. What other Nintendo franchise should get a Lego set? Well, Donkey Kong already has by association with Mario. Animal Crossing has Pokemon now, Zelda, Mario, of course, as we mentioned. Splatoon would be kind of neat. A Splatoon battle park, and you've got different squidlings and different splats of paint that you could put everywhere, and you could change up to make it, you know, who do you want to be the winner of the battlefield, so you'd have excess paint to either determine, oh, blue is the winner, or teal is the winner. Something like that. That'd be cool. So I can see Splatoon being pretty sweet. Pikmin, perhaps? A bunch of little Pikmin. Little Olimar. Little foresty setting. Smash Bros. 2D stage. Have the pillars. And you'd have to have a few characters that could fight up to 8 at a time. Paladin says Samus Gunship. Oh yeah, Samus Gunship. Yeah, that's a good one. Good idea. Samus Aran Gunship. That'd be slick. She's had a couple of different designs over the years. Either and all would be cool. Pikmin would be cool to have. Yeah, Pikmin would be cool to have. I I agree. Well, I think that's going to do it for the stream. We've had some fun shorts lately. As I'm scrolling down here, lot of variety in these. I mean, shoot, we even got Wolverine and Logan in here. Like, I really went like all over the place with variety. It's been pretty fun. I hope y'all been enjoying the content too. Looks like I got some new notifications on Twix. Twix? Did I say just Twix? On X, I meant. That's funny. I'll read the last couple of comments though, but then I think that'll do it for the stream. Do you think we finally get Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow on NS2 for the Pokemon 30th anniversary? That would be so fire, but I'm not holding my breath. I've waited so patiently for Nintendo to add them. Oh, man. You know what's going to be? It's going to be Pokemon Red just as a game key card for $60. Pokemon Blue just as a game key card for $60. Pokemon Yellow as a game key card for $70. That's what you're getting. That's it. I kid. I joke. Ooh, that's not funny. That's cruel. No, realistically, yeah, I think it could happen. I mean, it should. Will it? That's the bigger question, right? If there's ever been a time, I'm going to say it might as well be now for the 30th anniversary of the games. So I'm going to say yes. I'm leaning towards yes, we'll finally get red, blue, yellow, green of some capacity. Remake, straight up port, slightly tightened up, something this year. Yeah. I wish they would add DK64 also. I think that one, well, that's coming. DK64 is coming eventually. Shoot. Maybe for the 1 year anniversary of Donkey Kong Bonanza, they'll add DK64 and they'll do some Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC where you could play as the old polygon models of DK in it or something like that. I don't know. That'd be kind of fun. I don't know. Thanks for your opinions. Really good stream. Well, thank you for being here, and I appreciate the comment. All right. That'll do it. That was fun. That was a great conversation. Thank you to Ash for the $1. Thank you to Roger Enyer for the $10. I hope y'all have a good... Oh, hold on. I can't go yet. AJ Rack 0440 just hopped in and said, hi, Paul. I can't leave. We've got somebody coming in at the end of the stream. I was just about to end, AJ Rax, but you're here now, so we'll give you a minute to recap. What we went over today was the fact that 1 year ago today was the release, or I should say the reveal, of the Nintendo Switch 2, and was the beginning of the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct Countdown. We went over Ocarina of Time Lego set, and yeah. And then we had a whole bunch of talking, but like I feel bad just saying bye right as you come in, so I kept that up for you for a bit. But I hope y'all have a good one. I will be back later tonight, actually, for the podcast, which will begin in 3 hours, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. So some of you I might see later today. Same place, just a 3 hour later time. We'll be having fun. Joycey J is in the chat. She'll be on the podcast. Mike Odyssey will be. Lily Young will be. Oh, it's Lily Young. Sorry. Lily Hyrule. I saw Lily Young's name earlier. But yeah. And soon, I will be on the Nintendo Byte podcast. Nintendo Prime, Nate extended an invitation, which I always appreciate. I just have to find a Wednesday night that's going to work out well, but I'll be there too. So keep on the lookout for that. Paulinetta on the podcast. You know, Steak 1024? That might be a goal. I might make that a goal of some sort in order to pull that off, because Ooh, that's asking for a lot. Ah. Who is Paulinetta? Somebody might not know who's Paulinetta.
Today in gaming history.
No.
Today.
Why does it do that? YouTube's weird.
Today in gaming
YouTube's
history.
weird. I click on something. I want what I click on, not something else.
Today in gaming history. January 5th, 2010. Bayonetta launched. This doesn't feel right. Hang on one moment. Let me see if the gates of hell is open. Hello? Rodon? Oh, Rodon, heaven and hell can tear each other to pieces for all I care. I'm more concerned with... Oh, what is it? A phone call for me. Do hand it over. Hello, Golf for Bayonetta. Can I ask you for a little favor? Yes, of course, I can deliver that message. Thank you. Today in gaming history, January 5th, 2010, Bayonetta launched for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 in North America. Today...
Nate, if you're still here, that's the Bayonetta 1 short. Is that the first time you saw it? Oh, man. That's a special kind of short right there. That's legit. To get Paulinetta for a whole podcast? Oof. Oof. I don't know, man. It's possible. Alrighty. We got to end that stream on a funny note. I think that's about as funny as you get around here. Take it easy, everybody. Thanks again for being here. Ash and Roger, once again, appreciate the donos. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you Monday for more PGN Live, or tonight in like 3 hours for